if you serve like a menu to your employees, you need to make it as appealing as possible. If a learning platform or any learning format is not appealing to the employees, why should they consume it?
I'm Christy Kitson. I'm the Learning and Development Strategist at Iventive, and I'm joined today by Daniela Prinz, Global Head of Learning and Competency Development at ZF Group. Daniela works with a team of HR professionals across the globe to support agile transformation and operational excellence. Daniela's joined us a number of times before discussing mastering transformation as a leader, and most recently in Cologne, where you facilitated a fascinating discussion on the qualification initiative Skills Hub at ZF, which I'd love to delve into in a second. But first, I just want to say, Daniela, welcome.
Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Great, thank you. So in your session in Cologne, you described the Skills Hub as an essential evolution in response to transformation megatrends. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So the Skills Hub is, of course, only an interactive online platform to develop, transform learning for ZF employees. It offers tailored learning formats, but it is specific on our megatrends. You should know that ZF is currently in a transformation phase. We are coming from a traditional combustion engine company, and we are now heading towards a more technology, high-tech company, which has a different meaning, a different setup, needs different skills. And we want to accompany our employees by offering a learning solution, which is in fact a change management tool. Learning, as you know, is acquiring knowledge and skills, but it also is a change management effectiveness, because you learn something that helps you to cope with change. You understand e-mobility, you understand digitization, and you understand now sustainability, which are the three megatrends that we are currently facing within our industry. So we really wanted to provide this information to our employees. And the Skills Hub is our way of showcasing this information to the employees. It's actually accessible for all of our employees, either through their computers, to their phones, to their different technology settings. Of course, it's more effective with those that are in the indirect fields than with the direct employees, because they need to make time for going to like a terminal computer to look up things. But it's also helping them. So approximately 90,000 ZF employees worldwide could use the Skills Hub. 20,000 are active users at the moment, and we are having like 8,000 per month using it. 5,000 courses are completed. So it's an impressive number of people who are using the Skills Hub to transform their knowledge.
Yeah, wow, it really is. I mean, and it's incredible that you've been able to tap into that. How are you bringing that learning to all of your learners, your deskless and your frontline and everyone? So if I can ask, what are the key skills that you're focusing on at ZF Group at the moment?
So the key skills is not a skill in terms of you are studying on a specific like cybersecurity skill, like functional skills. It's more like that you have the encouraged to think creatively and change the industry landscape, so that you understand what is going on. It's understanding, knowing, coping. That is called change management, I would say. It's more like that. It's more the soft skills side than the professional side.
Right, that makes plenty of sense given your organizational context and the huge changes that you're seeing and going through. That kind of volatility and uncertainty, bringing that agility into your workforce through your skills. So, if I can move it on to your learning function now, what are the skills that you need within your L&D team to make that happen, to facilitate the acquiring of those skills?
So it's essential that they understand, on one hand, the functional skills that are needed, but that they also understand the soft skills that are needed to transform the company. So they need to be ahead of these kind of skills ontologies. They need to understand the landscape, but they also need to understand the technology that is behind learning. Because if you serve like a menu to your employees, you need to make it as appealing as possible. If a learning platform or any learning format is not appealing to the employees, why should they consume it? So there's a lot of skills needed for the L&D team. It's both functional, it's soft skill wise, but it's also technology that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose it's that marketing of L&D piece, isn't it? How do you secure that buy-in that's so necessary for such a broad range of skills that you're building into your workforce? So skills-based organizations, obviously we talked to a number of organizations, and that concept of being skills-based means different things to different people. So from a focus on reskilling to full transformation of every process. How do you define that concept at ZF Group?
So for me, a skills-based organization is an organization that values the individual based on their unique skills. So it's not looking on a job role card or an organizational setting. It's more looking on the individual and their unique set, what they are doing, and then drive those competencies and potential to the next level. I think and I'm coming from recruiting. If you see my background, I've worked in recruiting before and now I'm learning. I think that learning is now the new recruiting in a way in a company, because we are now looking more on growing employees internally instead of hiring them from the external market. And this skills organization is needed to really grow not only one person, not only talent, but a broad set of employees. If you value their profiles and value their settings, you can grow a lot of people and not only one. That's more important nowadays.
Absolutely. And I suppose that speaks to giving you the agility that you were talking to before in this time of huge transformation. So what sorts of things do you as an L&D team need to do to facilitate that concept of being skills-based? So you talked about, obviously you were in recruitment before. What sorts of things, what's the role of the learning team, do you think, in facilitating that?
I think the most important thing for a learning team is to foster a culture of flexibility, agility, and innovation. So really encourage people to speak up, to participate, to be part of learnings, and take their career into their own hands. Also offer career paths. So there's a lot with learning that leads into development. And I think that is our role to really help the organization to foster that change.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So you discussed your skills hub in light of the transformation megatrends, but I'm thinking about this concept of being skills based. How can we ensure that that approach is impactful and sustainable organization wide rather than just the next trend? What do you think about how we can ensure that that's the way forward?
So if you think about the future, the question is, how will you develop in a company? Will you develop by taking up the next job, or will you develop by taking up skills and naturally develop from one role into another? And that is a more agile approach. Is it really necessary that to name you from, and that might not be diversity conform, but from junior to senior to what level of position you have? Is it not that you acquire the skills and that you really develop yourself into a higher level of position, and that you automatically obtain that position by these skills that you acquire? So it's for me, it's a way of how you actually develop your employees and how an organization develop, and that will stay. It's a very typical thing. If you look at our employees, they don't want to change jobs every 2 years. They want to develop within their job. They feel comfortable about this more agile approach. So I think it will stay.
Yeah, absolutely. And so building it into that sense of accomplishment and achievement within a role, and also, I suppose, by doing that, building the autonomy in your workforce to seek out that development and really drive for it as part of the wider change. We have so many of these skills discussions, but from my perspective, it's been fascinating to see the evolution of those discussions. So now, getting the opportunity to talk to you about the concrete things that you're doing at ZF in such a sort of timely way with the kind of transformation that you're facing into is a really fascinating lens. So thank you for that.
I think what is the skill topic is always seen like, okay, then we have 30,000 skills and we all obtain them. And then if we have a big database about skills, that's the, I would say, solution to everything. No, that's not. It's not about the number of skills that you have. It's not the ontology that you have. It's about how you actually apply these skills with your employees and how you are developing those skills. So it's the how and not the what is important.
Yeah, I think that's a really great takeaway, the how and not the what. And because we've discussed with a number of people, they have these, huge dictionaries worth of skills and all of these reference points, and then they get stuck on the how.
We had that megatrend, we had to transform ourselves. So how can we do it? And then it turned out that the skills are the solution to that. And it's the same with, you can see it from the technology standpoint, like SAP and all the Workday, they are working on in incorporating skill management into their system, into learning and talent management and all that. So you can see that the trend is actually also now coming into technology. So I think it will stay because of all these kind of development.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And I was reading yesterday about the ZF way and the acronym you have, or the initialism VUCA, VUCA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a really timely example that we get with ZF in the position that you're in.
So I will be in Amsterdam next, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to speak to those leaders in another country, because I know the Germans, but sometimes it's better to actually talk to the more global people. And I also had the chance to talk to some of the Scandinavian event participants, and to see their perspective and to see what is going on in their industry, that's also very valuable. It's the exchange between the leaders that really gives you an impulse, and I had a lot of calls after the meeting in Cologne, because they call to check in what is going on and how we solve this and so it's really like we help each other in a way, because at the end of the day, I don't I have anything to lose if I help anybody else, because it would rather also help me in getting back feedback on how they develop.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time today.
You're welcome.